your true nature, aligning your true nature for lasting success. Hey, it's Rishi Patel, founder of Selling in Alignment, where I work with coaches and consultants to reprice and package their services. Welcome to Intention Monday. After a little balance and renewal, we are back into Intention Monday, and it's really amazing. It's just different to be here. Something that I found in my own journey is that, just as in martial arts, balance is essential for strength and agility. And what do I mean specifically by balance? Why am I talking about balance? Well, balance is cross-applicable in so many different aspects of life. So one of them is the fact that if you just keep going at a certain pace without slowing down and taking time to reflect and taking time to look at where you are and just understand what needs to happen next, it's very easy to reach this point of burnout, right? So moderation in everything is important. So moderation in rest is important. You can't sleep too much, but you also can't sleep too little. So that's also a problem as well. You can't eat too much, but also you can't eat too little. Have you seen all of these different aspects of life require this beautiful ideology of balance, which is so cross-intertwined inside of ancient Eastern teachings, inside of what's called yoga? And interestingly, yoga nowadays is understood as this thing that you go to this class where you do these stretches and you do these poses, and yoga actually means so much more than that. And there's a yoga of balance. And so that's what we're talking about today in Intention Monday. It's okay to work hard. It's okay to push it. It's okay to work towards a big deadline and really go for it. And there needs to be some time to unwind, to relax, to rest, to rejuvenate. And that is so important for continuous ongoing progress. Something that I found again in my own journey is that as we rest and we replenish, taking those intentional breaks, taking that time out to allow creativity to come to the forefront is so key. I feel this responsibility even more so now than before. Why? Because of Islington Martial Arts. These amazing students that I have at the school that I'm so privileged to be able to work with are looking at me as an example of balance through the martial art. Regardless of whether I like it or not, I'm standing in the position of being a role model. And so when you stand at the front of the class and you deliver anything, even in this moment in time, standing at the front of a camera and you're talking to an audience, you are having a responsibility, right? You're communicating a message, you're communicating what's there in your heart, and you want to let people know about that. You have a responsibility in that moment. And the responsibility in our lives in general is about balance. And if you look at any kind of a martial art, it doesn't matter whether you take on Taekwondo or Karate, Choi Kwando or Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. It doesn't matter the style. Every single martial art will have inside of it this element of balance that's needed. And the balance is needed on the mat in the martial art to be inside of a good stance, to have good strong movements, and to be able to balance your body weight so that when you strike, when you move, you're able to be efficient. It's also something that needs to cross-translate to other aspects of life. It's not something that's just isolated to the martial art. It is something that can absolutely be cross-translated. And we really have to get that. So an example of this, if you know you are a morning person, if you know for sure that you do your best work in the mornings, early mornings, that's when the creativity is pumping and you get things done and you're efficient, then that's the time you want to get your biggest tasks done. This is amazing for productivity, right? Because then you have the rest of the day leading to late morning into afternoon to be able to just unwind, to be able to handle like those smaller tasks, things that are coming up, or unexpected phone calls you're getting, or things that you need to take care of. That really works. And at the same time, if you're not a morning person, then you want to find where your natural rhythm is. Because once you find your natural rhythm, that's when you can be very then aligned with nature. And so for myself, I have found that my natural rhythm is that I love to be doing some kind of movement first thing in the morning. So my best quality of throughput through business, my best results in terms of sales, in terms of, everything, in terms of client satisfaction, in terms of getting results for myself and for my clients, has been a routine for me where I get up in the morning first thing, I have some form of movement between 7 and 8 a.m. That's my sweet spot. I try to do things earlier. So for example, I did for about a month and a half where I woke up at 4:30 a.m. and I got into the gym for 5 and I finished my workout for 6. And I just felt tired through the whole day. I just couldn't shift that. I did it for about 6 weeks and I just couldn't move that. And so what I've then found is that if I'm going too late in the day, then my productivity is also knocked. But there's a sweet spot. And so what is your sweet spot? Not necessarily for movement or for going to the gym or, for anything like that. What's your sweet spot for potentially productivity? What's your sweet spot for self-care, right? What is your sweet spot for making sales calls and getting onto the phone with your clients and really taking that all to another level? And what does that look like for you specifically? And it's going to be different for everyone. That's another lesson that I learned pretty much late on, is that every single person is going to be different. They're going to have a different sweet spot. And so we need to be able to work with that, right? We can't fit people into a mold and make them do a certain thing. That also then again leads to burnout. And at the same time, we also need to be really honest with ourselves around, hey, at what points in the day, at what times am I being lazy, right? At what points am I chilling out and letting go and just not giving it my all just because I feel lazy and I am being lazy? And that takes a certain amount of honesty, because it's very easy for the mind to then come back and say, hey, you know what? I'm taking some self-care time out right now. I needed a break right now. I needed to do X, Y, and Z. Or I had all these admin that I needed to do, when you know that you should actually be doing some work on your marketing or your selling. It's really easy. And unless you have someone hand-holding you through the process, holding you accountable, it's even more challenging to really get into this and understand, hey, you know what? Like, this is the way I'm showing up right now. And this is what coaches are really good for. This is what we do at Selling in Alignment, is not only just hold people accountable, but we really handhold them through the process of setting up their coaching business so that it's strong, so that it's scalable, so that they're selling something that's at the high value, high end level, and they feel good about it. So it's really just that. It's really just having that understanding and working with someone potentially that can see that blind spot that you may not be able to. And so we really need to look and we need to let go. And this whole letting go process, there's a saying that says let go and let it flow. There's other sayings as well in and around that, but this letting go idea, I like to call this process surrender. Surrender is not what we may think of it in the traditional terms as, hey, I'm holding up a white flag, I give up, I can't do it, right? I don't want to do it and I'm just giving up, I'm stopping. Surrender is actually letting go of the limiting beliefs that stop us from achieving what we want. And letting go of those specifically, that's what surrender really is. And when we surrender and we really just let go and detach from the idea that it's constant action that equals progress, then we get to step back and experience balance. Then we get to step back and look at, hey, you know what? I actually do need some downtime. I haven't taken a break in so many months. And as creators, specifically as coaches and consultants in the world, like, we really need to be taking breaks. We are creatives. We are massively creative people. And we really do want to be taking breaks in the world. Like, every 90 days, take this time out. And it doesn't have to be a long break. It doesn't have to be an expensive break. It just needs to be something that's going to help us to bring about balance and rejuvenate. It may just be a weekend, a long weekend, or it may even be a short weekend. But it may be a weekend off from everything